The diner was quiet, save for the faint hum of the jukebox and the occasional clatter of dishes from the kitchen. Outside, rain slicked the city streets, casting glimmers of light from the neon signs. At a corner booth, Maya Carter sat nursing a lukewarm cup of coffee. She stared out the window, lost in thought as drops streaked down the glass. It had been 6 months since her world unraveled. At 28, Maya had once been on the fast track, working as a marketing strategist for a prominent startup in Seattle. She'd loved the challenge, the fast pace, the sense of purpose. But all of that changed when her younger brother Jamie was diagnosed with leukemia. The bills piled up quickly, far beyond what their insurance could cover. Maya had emptied her savings, sold her belongings, and ultimately quit her job to care. The diner was quiet, save for the faint hum of the jukebox and the occasional clatter of dishes from the kitchen. Outside, rain slicked the city streets, casting glimmers of light from the neon signs. At a corner booth, Maya Carter sat nursing a lukewarm cup of coffee. She stared out the window, lost in thought as drops streaked down the glass. It had been 6 months since her world unraveled. At 28, Maya had once been on the fast track, working as a marketing strategist for a prominent startup in Seattle. She'd loved the challenge, the fast pace, the sense of purpose. But all of that changed when her younger brother Jamie was diagnosed with leukemia. The bills piled up quickly, far beyond what their insurance could cover. Maya had emptied her savings, sold her belongings, and ultimately quit her job to care for Jamie full-time. She didn't regret it. Family came first. But now, with Jamie in remission and her resources completely drained, Maya found herself adrift. The rain outside mirrored her mood as she flipped open her laptop, the screen glowing faintly in the dim light. She was scrolling through job postings, most of which felt painfully out of reach. Employers wanted someone who hadn't been out of work for months, someone who hadn't spent their savings just to survive. "Refill?" a soft voice asked, breaking her reverie. Maya glanced up to see the waitress, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes holding a coffee pot. "Sure, why not?" Maya replied with a weak smile, sliding her cup forward. The waitress poured the coffee and lingered for a moment. "Tough night?" Maya hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, you could say that." "Well, hang in there, hun," the waitress said gently before moving to the next table. Maya took a sip of the fresh coffee, the warmth spreading through her chest. She sighed, turning her attention back to the job listings. Just as she was about to close her laptop, the bell above the diner door jingled. A man walked in, shaking water from his umbrella. He was dressed in a tailored gray suit, his dark hair slicked back from the rain. Something about him seemed familiar, but Maya couldn't place it. He glanced around the diner before his eyes landed on her. To her surprise, he walked straight to her booth. "Excuse me," he said, his voice calm but confident. "Are you Maya Carter?" Maya blinked, stunned. "Yes, I am. Do I know you?" He smiled faintly. "Not exactly. My name is Daniel Blake. I'm the CEO of Innovant Strategies. We crossed paths a few years ago at a conference. You gave a presentation on digital marketing. It was impressive." Maya's heart skipped a beat. She remembered that conference. It had been one of her proudest moments. "What brings you here?" she asked cautiously. "I saw your post on LinkedIn," Daniel said, sliding into the seat across from her. "You mentioned looking for opportunities and explained your recent situation. I was impressed by your honesty. Most people wouldn't be so candid." Maya flushed, embarrassed. "I wasn't expecting anyone to actually read that." "Well, I did," he said, "and I think I might have a solution for you." Maya's breath caught. "A solution?" Daniel nodded. "I'm expanding my team at Innovant. We're looking for someone with a strong marketing background and fresh perspectives. Your presentation from years ago stuck with me. I think you'd be a great fit." For a moment, Maya was speechless. I'm not sure what to say. Why me? There are probably more qualified candidates." "Maybe," Daniel interrupted, "but qualifications aren't everything. I've seen what you're capable of. More importantly, you've shown resilience and integrity in the face of hardship. That's the kind of person I want on my team." Maya felt tears pricking the corners of her eyes. "Are you serious?" "Completely," Daniel said. "Come by our office tomorrow. Let's discuss the details." Maya nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you. I'll be there." As Daniel stood to leave, he smiled warmly. Get some rest tonight, Maya. Tomorrow's the start of something new. The next morning, Maya arrived at Innovent Strategies' sleek downtown office. She was greeted by a receptionist who escorted her to a conference room. Moments later, Daniel entered, accompanied by a few team members. The meeting was a whirlwind. They discussed Maya's skills, her vision for marketing, and how she could help Innovent grow. By the end of the conversation, Daniel offered her a position as a senior marketing strategist. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Maya accepted. The weeks that followed were a blur of hard work and new beginnings. Maya poured herself into her role, determined to prove herself. Her team quickly grew to admire her creativity and work ethic. But the real turning point came 3 months later when Daniel called her into his office. "I've been watching your progress," he said, leaning back in his chair. "You've exceeded every expectation. I think it's time for a new challenge." Maya's heart raced. "What kind of challenge?" "I want you to lead a new initiative," Daniel said. "We're launching a major campaign for one of our biggest clients. It's high stakes, but I think you're ready." Maya hesitated for only a moment before nodding. "I'm in." The campaign was a resounding success, solidifying Maya's reputation as a rising star in the marketing world. She went on to mentor others, sharing her story of resilience and determination. Late one evening, as she sat in her office overlooking the city, Maya reflected on how far she'd come. The girl who once sat in a diner, lost and uncertain, had found her way again. Life had given her a second chance, and she wasn't going to waste it.